deep in the heart of the forest, where sunlight filters through endless layers of green, life breathes in silence. Every leaf, every stem, every root is part of an unspoken symphony, a harmony of giving, healing, and renewal. There is no noise, no pride, no competition here, only the quiet rhythm of care. The forest heals without needing to be asked. It releases its breath of life into the air, invisible threads of oxygen woven into every breeze. When the wind moves, it carries an invisible kindness across mountains, across oceans, across time. A towering oak stands in the center, ancient and wise. Its bark bears the scars of storms, but its heart would still beat strong. Around its base, young saplings rest in its shadow, drinking from the earth it protects. The oak does not speak, yet its silence is full of lessons. It knows that healing is not about being untouched. It's about continuing to give even after being wounded. The moss that carpets its roots whispers softly to the soil. Its tiny body captures moisture, cooling the earth beneath. Around it, mushrooms rise like quiet doctors' decay, turning death into nourishment, rot into life. Nothing in the forest goes to waste. Every fallen leaf becomes medicine for the next generation. When rain arrives, it falls like blessing. The leaves do not hoard the water. They let it slide down their veins, dripping into the thirsty ground below. That's the way of the forest, to receive and release, to hold and to let go. The trees know what heals them must also heal others. Far from the oak, in a shaded corner where light dances gently, herbs grow in clusters. Mint, basil, sage, lavender. They stand together, their scents rising into the morning mist. To the forest, these are not just smells, they are conversations. The mint tells the air, be cool and clear. The lavender hums softly, be calm. The basil whispers, protect. Even without words, they send messages of care. In every cell their green bodies, they hold compounds of life, oils that soothe, roots that purify, leaves that mend. They do not know of hospitals, of medicine, of suffering, yet they have always been healers, the silent guardians of balance. When a branch breaks, the tree doesn't curse the wind. It simply begins to seal the wound. Resin flows, sap hardens, and slowly, the scar becomes part of its strength. Pain to the tree is not the end. It's a signal to grow wiser, tougher, more compassionate. The forest teaches that healing is not an act. It's a nature. In the morning, the sunlight touches the dew resting on the leaves. Each droplet shines like a pearl, reflecting tiny rainbows. The plants lift their faces to the light. Photosynthesis begins, an ancient miracle repeated billions of times without applause. They absorb what others overlook, invisible rays, silent air, and turn them into nourishment for all. The beauty of plants is that their healing starts with taking what is unseen and turning it into life. When a fire once swept through the edge of the forest, flames consumed everything in their path. Smoke filled the air. The ground turned to ash. For days, there was nothing but silence. The green was gone. The songs of birds disappeared, and the wind carried only the scent of loss. But deep below the blackened soil, roots still pulsed. Seeds slept quietly beneath layers of ash, waiting. They knew the secret. Healing takes time. And when the rains finally came, the earth drank greedily. The ashes mixed with water, becoming rich again. Tiny shoots emerged. First one, then many. The burned forest healed itself, using even its pain as fertilizer. That is the way of life, to turn destruction into rebirth. Months later, the same place that once smelled of smoke now carried the fragrance of wildflowers. The forest didn't speak of what it had lost. It spoke of what it had become. The vines that wrapped around fallen trees didn't mourn their decay. They embraced it, turning death into scaffolding for new growth. The roots of one plant intertwined with another, sharing minerals, sharing life. In the darkness below, the soil was alive with exchange, a quiet marketplace of kindness. Trees passed sugar to those that had less light. Fungi carried messages, nutrients, even warnings. The forest's unseen heart beat with generosity. Every living thing in that ecosystem had one shared truth. Healing happens through connection. There were no heroes in that forest, no saviors, only givers and receivers endlessly trading roles. A dying tree nourished the next. A decaying leaf fed the soil. A rotting log became home to countless lives. Even death served life. This is what plants know, that to heal others is to complete the circle. And beyond the forest, in the open plains, the grasses did their quiet work. They held the soil together so that the winds couldn't steal it away. When herds trampled them, they bent low, then rose again. When drought came, they curled inward to save water. Still, they stood when the rains returned. Their roots reached deep, keeping the land alive. Their softness was their strength. By night, the plants released the air they had crafted all day, slow, steady breaths of life. The stars above seemed to shimmer brighter over green lands. Even the smallest blade of grass played its part in the great healing. In the wetlands, reeds cleaned the water drop by drop. They filtered dirt, absorbed toxins, made purity from waste. The pond lilies opened in gratitude, floating like little lanterns of hope. The frogs sang, the fish returned. The reeds did not ask for reward. To heal was simply their way of living. On the mountains, mosses and lichens softened the cold rocks. They broke down stone, inch by inch, turning it into fertile ground. It took centuries, but they never stopped. Some worked in the heat, some in the frost. Healing for them wasn't measured in speed. It was measured in devotion. When the wind passed through the forest, carrying pollen from flower to flower, the plants shared without discrimination. The bright and the dull, the tall and the small, all played their part. Healing, they knew, came from cooperation, not competition. And as the moon rose, silver light bathed the forest floor. The leaves shimmered softly, almost glowing. The night-blooming jasmine opened its petals and filled the air with fragrance. It bloomed not for itself but for the darkness, offering beauty when the world could not see it. That is what true healing is, to give light even when unseen. The forest, in its deep wisdom, held stories written in rings and roots. It knew that the greatest strength lies not in standing above others, but in nurturing everything around you. The tree that shades others grows cooler itself. The flower that shares its pollen ensures its own future. The soil that feeds many becomes richer. The healer is always healed in return. And so, the forest breathes, exhale, inhale, the eternal rhythm of compassion. From the outside, it may look still, but inside, a million acts of kindness are happening each second. Leaves mending wounds, roots sharing sustenance, flowers feeding bees, the air carrying life, the world quietly remade by things that never make a sound. The lesson of the plants is clear. To heal is not to fix what is broken, but to keep giving what gives life. They don't choose who deserves their oxygen. They don't decide which species to help. They simply give endlessly. Their kindness is not selective. It's instinctive. And maybe that's the truest form of healing. Not to give when convenient, but to give because it's in your nature. When a tree drops fruit, it doesn't check who will eat it. When a flower releases scent, it doesn't know who will breathe it in. When a root shares water, it doesn't count how much it's losing. And yet, through this silent generosity, the entire planet survives. If you could hear the language of the forest, it would say only this: what I give, I keep. What I share, I grow. In every seed, there is faith. In every leaf, there is patience. In every root, there is connection. In every drop of sap, there is sacrifice. And through all of it, healing flows, not as a miracle, but as a law of love. The plants don't preach kindness. They live it. They breathe it. They become it. And if the earth itself could whisper one truth to all who walk upon it, it would say this: be like the forest. Heal quietly. Give freely. And even if no one sees your goodness, keep growing. Because somewhere, someone will breathe because of you. Somewhere, life will rise again because of the shade you gave. Somewhere, your silent act of care will become someone else's chance to live. And in that unseen giving, you'll realize healing others was never a duty. It was always your nature.